What's up guys, welcome back to a video. In this one we're going to be learning about text entry. So before going into the video, I would appreciate you guys liking and subscribing the video and feel free to comment. So let's go into topic. So first let's see what does text entry mean. So text entry is basically a text box where you can just type text, and it is kind of like the user input we do in Python. So now let's see an example using these. So first let me just put my code right here. So this is basically the window and stuff. So basically I just created a window. Now let's write the text entry code. So here I'm gonna define a variable named entry and then equals entry. So here this entry which is on the right side is already defined by the tkinter module. And now I can have window as my argument, which also it can be set as parameter. So as you see, this variable and this variable are both same. And now I'm gonna pack this so that we can see the output. If you don't pack it, it's not gonna come for you guys, and the same thing for me. So I know this text entry is a lot small, but it's working for us. So if you can see, it's great. And I just typed hello in here, so that works. And now let's make this bigger. So first, to do that, I'm gonna have something called font. So this font is gonna make the size bigger. So for that, I'm gonna do Arial, and I'm gonna define Arial, and then have let's take the font size to be 30, and that would be great. And then also let's make it bold. So after doing this, if I were to run this, it's gonna give us that specific font, and whenever we type, it's gonna appear in bold. So now I'm gonna type, let's take hello, and as you see, it's a lot bigger, and now we can see a lot. So that's a lot better, I'll say. And now let's do something called default text. So this default text is very important because whenever the user don't input something, we have to have something called default text so that it's gonna be already default. And this text entry is a lot fun than any other like labels or buttons. This is a lot fun than them. So to do that, I'm gonna do entry.insert and then have something called default text. So let me just define the index. So this 0 is the index, which means it's gonna be at the 0th position, which is the starting position. And then I'm gonna say something like, let's just say default, because it's already a default text. And let me just run this. So whenever I were to run this, as you see, it just already gave us default. And yeah, I can erase this and write my own text too. So hello, see, I just erased the default and then write my own text, which is hello. So you can do anything with this, so anything is fine. You can even customize the window and stuff so that you can see the text in better. And you can also change the background color of this text entry. So let me just show you guys how you can do it. So to do that, I'm gonna have something called BG. BG equals the background, which is background, and then I'm gonna have a specific color. So let me just say what black will be good, and for the foreground, which is a text color, I'm just gonna say, let's say white, and that would be perfect. So if I were to run this, it's gonna give me the background of that color, and of course it gave us an error because we forgot a comma. So let me just run this right now. So let's just wait for a few seconds so that we can get it. And now as you see, our text is that specific color and our background of the text box is different. So that's how you can change the background and the text color and stuff. So you can feel free to mess with any of those. So now let's change the text to hello. So as you still see, it's hello and with white color. So this is a lot clearer and it's a lot fun too. Now let's see an important topic called autocomplete. So till here it's a lot of fun, and this is where it kind of gets confusing. So let me just delete all this part. So let me just change these to black, that's white, that's perfect. Or let me just remove these background and the foreground because it's gonna make a lot of sense, because whenever I write the code it's gonna be a lot bad. So also let me just delete this. So we deleted all that part except we have our entry right there. After doing this, we're gonna do something called listbox. So to do this, so to do the auto completion, you have to have a list box. So this list box is gonna contain a set of words. So to get the words, let me just take a variable words and then have the number of words. Or to say the letters or the suggestions we can give to the user. It's basically kind of like the suggestion which you get in the Google and stuff whenever you type something. So that's how this thing is kind of is. So let me just get some fruits from the internet so that I can put it right here. So I just got a bunch of words, so let me just delete this because I also copied this one. So these are the words all I got, and as you see we just took a lot of fruits, so apple, banana, cherry and everything and stuff. So we got all these. Now let's continue creating our list box because we just stopped in the middle. So I just created my list box just like that, and then have the window inside this. After doing this, we can also mess with the size. So let me just copy the size of this one because it's kind of easy, because I just want the size of this one too and to be the same. So let me just do that, and there we go, we got our size back. 30/30 is fine. And after doing this, it's gonna create a list box, but to make it appear we have to pack this too. So we're done with this, and now let me just run this real quick. So let's just run this. As you see, we got our list box and stuff. So this is our this is our text box, and this is our list box where the suggestions will appear. So if I type A, nothing happens because we didn't write the code fully. So we can this text box works, and also the list box doesn't work because we didn't write any code. And it's gonna be a lot confusing from now onwards, so I guess you guys have to be focused on this. So let me just comment this part saying like this is a window or something. So there we go, we wrote a window right there, and there this place I'm gonna write the functions. So here I'm gonna write the functions here, and I'm gonna have my first function, which is key release. And I know this is a lot complicated name. What is key release? So if you guys are thinking, so key release is a lot basic, and key release is nothing but whenever I type a key. So let's just say I'm typing H, and then I just type H, and then I remove my hand from H. So that's basically what a key release is. Whenever you remove your finger or something from the letter which you do, this is gonna happen. So inside the parentheses, we have to have an event. I know events are a lot hard, and I'm gonna be posting an event video in my future videos. And if you're seeing this from the future, maybe it's already posted and you can just go check it out. So I have my key release function right here and have the event inside this. And now I'm gonna do something very complicated, and it might be complicated for some people and it might not for some people. And this part I'm gonna get the current word, so which the word which I'm typing right there. So let's just say I'm typing A, it's gonna get the A. So to do that, I'm gonna do entry.get, and I'm just getting the word. But this time, let's say the word is uppercase. To make it lowercase, I'm gonna do lower. After doing this, I'm gonna do something called listbox.delete. And you don't have to worry about this part because listbox.delete, and I'm gonna be saying at the end because it's kind of complicated too. So I'm just gonna give an overview of what happens right here. So this function, this key release function, is gonna give us suggestions. It is gonna give us suggestions. It is going to give suggestions. So it is going to give us suggestions, so that's why we took our words right here, but we are never using it right here. So now onwards we're going to be using the words and stuff. So let me just explain you guys why I wrote listbox.delete. So whenever I type something, so let's just say I type A, the Google just gives me results that starts with A and stuff. So that's how this thing is. But this time in our when we work with Python, it doesn't automatically delete for you guys, which means whenever I type the A, these words will be still there, and at the end it's gonna give you the A. I know that's a lot confusing to understand, but whenever I run this program, it's gonna be a lot easier. So now we can just say listbox.delete is a part of the code, which I'm gonna be saying you guys. So we don't have to worry about that. But now the thing we have to worry is about the words and stuff. So to do that, for word in words. So basically I'm looping through the words, and now I'm gonna say if word dot starts with. So if the word which I type or something, it's gonna start with the current word which I say. So let's say if the word in these, so let's just say I type A, the only match here would be APPELE because that's what happens right here. So that's the only match right there. So that's how this thing works. So if it does, we're gonna do something called insert, and this is basically gonna insert something into it. So first I'm gonna say at the end and say something called the word, which is the word which I say, So this part is kind of confusing. So let me just explain what is happening right here. So I'm looping through all the words to check if any matches exist. And then I'm gonna use something called if statement, which is gonna check if the word, which is a or something, whatever I type, dot starts with the current word which I give. And after that, it's gonna do, if it's true, it's gonna do this part. So list box, which, let me run this real quick to show you guys what is list box. So let me just run this. So this is our list box. This one, the down part, this is our text box, this is our list box. So if this, so it's gonna insert something into this. So at the end, so it's gonna insert something called word, which is any of these words, so which matches. So it might be apple, it might be banana, it might be cherry or something. So it might be anything, but it's gonna insert the matched words. So that's what it's basically gonna do. And insert is basically gonna insert something. But why do we have something called end right there? So let's say I have a multiple matches. So let's say a fruit name, the banana exists or something. So let's just say if that exists, it's gonna insert at the end after apple. So that's why we have end right there. You can also give numbers, so you can just say 10. So basically only 10 matches can appear. So that's how this thing works. And let me just define end because that would be more dynamic and it would be a lot easier. So let me just change to banana. And after doing this, we have our first part of the function done. So this part is basically gonna give us the suggestions. So till here, it's pretty clear, and except this one which I'm gonna be explaining you guys. And now this is where the second part comes. Whenever we get a suggestion, we have to click it. So whenever you get a suggestion, you want to double click it so that it appears in your text box or so. So that's what we are going to do in this part. So that so this part is basically going to insert the text in the text box. So this part is going to insert the text in the text box. So first we have to create a function. So let me just create a function real quick. So this function is basically, let's say it's going to be selection, because in this function we are basically going to select, right? So that's what we are doing. And we also need an event for this, because whenever you double click it, the program should know that you're double clicking or something. So we have to have an event. So after doing it, we can have something called selection word. So this is basically the selected word which we choose. So the selected word equals the word which we type. So entry So basically the selected word is inside the list box, right? Because we are selecting a word inside the list box. So we have to get the list box first. Listbox.get, and then have something called listbox.curSelection. So this is basically gonna get the selection which we selected. And after this, we can write our rest of the code. So here, I'm gonna delete my entry box because let's say I already have something called A, and then it gave me a match of, let's say, apple, because that's what I have in this. And then let's say I click on this, then it's gonna give double A's because I'm not clearing my entry. So to do that, I have to delete all my entry. So delete 0 till the end of the entry. And now I'm gonna insert the rest of it. So entry dot insert, and let's insert the selected word. So let me just insert selected word, and also we have to have 0 at the first. So let me just do that because it is at the starting point. So we have our index and our selected word inserted. But now onwards, it's not going to work for us because we never define the event. Because remember, we have a parameter right here. So we have to do it, right? So to do that, you use something called binding. So this binding is used so that you can pass events to the functions and everything and stuff. And that's what this thing works. So basically that is the use of this. So now let's just say I want to insert this. So first I'm going to do entry.bind because I want to insert at the entry. So this is the entry, and because I'm typing the word, so that's why I first want to bind the entry and give an event. So I'm going to probably give an event, let's say key release, and this is basically going to give the event called key release. And then after this event appears, this is what I have to do. So it's gonna go to the function key release, which is basically gonna give us the suggestions. So this is a function key release, and this is gonna basically give us the suggestions. And the event we are using is key release, which is already defined by Python. And we have our entry.bind. So that's what the first event is. And now let's go to the second event. The second event is listbox.bind, and this event is when the people or the user clicks the list box or the suggestion which we give. So now I'm gonna have an event of, let's just take the double button and then have one right here. So this is an event which defines the double button one, which means whenever you double click it, it's gonna appear in the entry box or the text box. And we have to call the selection function whenever this thing is done. So whenever double clicks, it's gonna go to the selection and do the stuff and everything. So that's what this thing basically does. So let me just run this to show you guys the output. And I know till here it's kind of confusing, but if you kind of replay the video, you would probably understand. So we have our text box and our list box right here. So first, let's say I just type hello, and we got no matches because we never had hello in our words or something, because we never had any of these suggestions. So let me just resize this and show you guys our words we have. So these are the words we have, and as you see, we never got hello, so that's why it didn't work. So let's just say I type APPLE, and this is the only match we have. And this time I just typed down my own, but let's say I just click Apple. As you see, I just double clicked it and it appeared in my text box. So that's basically what this auto completion is, and there's a lot of fun when you learn. And you can also mess with some stuff. So let me just type banana and it still works. And you can also mess with the background and stuff. You can even change the backgrounds. And now we're not done yet. So whenever we do this, we have to submit to the user or something. So first, to do that, I'm gonna have a submit button. So submit equals button, because that's a button, and then have the window, and then have a text. Let's just say the text should be simple and just say submit, and that's what we have. And command, which is the command we're gonna give to the button, it should be, let's just take submit but function. So that's the thing we are gonna use, and that's the function we're gonna create right here. So I'm gonna say submit function, so submit function, and then I'm gonna create the function right here. So def, and then have my submit function. So submit, and then I'm gonna have something called submit function because I had it right there. Submit func, because I guess that's what I put right here. So yeah, that's what I put. And then I'm gonna say something like, let's just say get the entry thing. So let me just get the entry dot get. So we're basically getting the entry thing what we have. And then let me print, let's just say you like the fruit, and then let's just say their fruit name. And then let me just say A, because that's the where we have our entry dot get. So after doing this, we almost were about to forget we have to pack this button. So let me just pack this real quick. So now let me just run this real quick. So there we go. And now we got our buttons right here. So we got our text box, we got our list box, and also we got our submit function. It's fine if you guys don't see because it's gonna appear right here. So let's just say I want to type Apple, and there we go, we got our matches right here. So let me just click on this, double click, let me just submit. As you see, you like the fruit apple. So that's how this thing works, and I know it's a lot complicated to do with these, but you guys can get it if you guys replay the video once again, and you guys should keep practicing so that you guys can understand these stuff. So that's it for today's video. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.